To hear the words spoken, "You do not have the right to remain silent." That terrible wound from which you saw Charlie Kirk's life's blood leaving his body was not the entry wound, but was an exit wound. And that is now proven beyond peradventure. Now that's important, because if that was the exit wound and the entry wound came from the other side, that means Tyler ain't the shooter. And it means that gun isn't the murder weapon. And you have to ask yourself, if they're lying about the shooter, if they're lying about the murder weapon, they're lying about the whole thing. It's obvious. They're trying to tell you a furry. My God, I never thought I'd live long enough to know what a furry was. And I now know more about furries than I ever wanted to know. A furry whose boyfriend, girlfriend is a trans, and who was found wandering on a roof, but didn't have a weapon that was found in the woods. He's the patsy, all right. He may even believe that he was involved in it. He may have been told it was a Nicolas Cage movie. He may have been told anything, but he wasn't the shooter. And that weapon with the scope on wrong, such that it would have blown his eye out if he'd fired the shot from a Mauser, that wasn't the murder weapon. The murder weapon came from far more up close and personal. And personal may be a vital qualifier in the statement I have just made. Because it seems to me that who killed Charlie Kirk knew Charlie Kirk, and maybe knew him very well.
This week, George Galloway was detained under the Terrorism Act at Gatwick Airport. Held for 9 hours, his electronics seized, even his wife's Palestinian-coloured fingernails were scrutinised. This was a blatant act of political intimidation, part of the UK's increasingly draconian assault on anyone who speaks up for Palestine. It's not an isolated case. Investigative journalists like Asa Winstanley have had their homes raided. Richard Medhurst was detained and interrogated at Heathrow over his reporting. David Miller was also stopped under counter-terrorism powers after returning from Lebanon. Their real crime? Daring to expose the UK's role in Israel's genocide in Gaza.
Did you see that video? I think it came out yesterday or the day before, of the Israeli team, the soccer team, the football team, soccer as we call it in America, coming out of the field. All the fans turned around and turned their backs, and then the coach of the Italian team started screaming at them before the match, saying that they were butchers. And then, by the way, they proceeded to kick their ass. But, you know, it's just, I've never seen something like that in a sporting event where the athletes...
I've been in this cause for 50 years. Don't tell the wife, she thinks I'm 45. 50 years I've been in the Palestinian. Now, in the beginning, you could have fitted all of us into this studio. It's a big studio, but you could have fitted everybody in Britain that thought like me into this studio. Now it's everybody. Now, only the real knuckle draggers are continuing to support Netanyahu and Israel. And I don't believe it's ever going to change. It's no more...
But what can it lead to?
Confident moment.
Okay, but if it doesn't change and it continues and it just gets worse, until the United States says we've had enough, I don't see a change in terms of their behavior. Do you?
Your Congress is bought and paid for by the Israel lobby. Everybody knows that. They don't even make they don't even try and disguise it. There's people whose names I've never heard, from places I've never heard of, getting 7-figure sums from the Israel lobby. So bought and paid for.
Or becoming FBI directors or CIA directors.
Yes, quite. And so until that changes, you're right. It's going to be Israel and America against the world. But that's not a good place for America to be. Why would America want to be in that place for a country of 8 million people on the Mediterranean? How is that in your interests? If you really believe in making America great again, if you really believe in America first, eventually it's got to dawn on legislators, certainly has dawned already on their voters, that we have to stop digging deeper and deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole. And I believe that that will happen. I know America is not a perfect democracy. Nowhere is. But no government can forever fly in the face of the sincerely held opinion of its people. And I don't believe yours will either.
So you start with this angry character. You go, what's funny about that? Well, he's rude to people. Is he clever? He's sort of clever. Is he malicious? Yeah, but he's also got a conscience. So you're already mixing these things up. You know, he wants to hurt someone's feelings, but then he feels guilty, so maybe he shouldn't. You know, it's not Marvel. It's not someone who's always really good and someone who's always really bad. Everyone's a mixture of all those things. Bad people do good things sometimes, and good people do bad things sometimes.
To hear the words spoken by an armed policeman, his jacket off so you can gaze at his sidearm, that you are not under arrest, but you are not free to leave. To hear the words spoken, you do not have the right to remain silent. To hear the words spoken, that if you do not comply and cooperate and answer any and all of my questions, you will be automatically committing an offence under the Act. That's when I really knew that liberty in England, in Britain, in this once proud democratic country, a country that for many centuries boasted of the Magna Carta, many centuries boasted of its reasonableness, of its moderate nature, and castigated all others around the globe for falling short of our standards. That's when I knew that we as a country are in serious trouble. Fascism is on the march in the West, not dressed in swastikas, but in liberal garb. Under the cloak of liberalism, everything that liberalism said that it stood for is being abolished. Here in Britain, a 61-year-old woman, Sarah Wilkinson, admired and respected across the land, was raided and arrested by 12 police officers. 12! Some of them wearing balaclavas, for a tweet that she wrote some time ago defending the Palestinians from genocide. And in France, little Macron is going nap. Not only did he arrest the owner, founder of Telegram, Pavel Durov, having invited him to dinner at the Elysee in fine mafioso tradition, he's run rumble out of town, and he's playing footsie with Marine Le Pen, defying the result of his own general election, called by himself. And in Palestine, the killing goes on and on and on.
I don't agree with him about calling Zelensky a dictator, and I don't agree that it was Ukraine that started the war. You do, because you're Putin's little expettle.
You've got a lot of Ukrainian blood on your hands. You have lied about this war from the beginning.
Actually, Vladimir...
You have lied about the origin of this war, about the duration of this war, about the course of this war.
Nothing fills me with dread. Things going wrong, people letting you down, rules changing, things like that. Things that, because you want to control things. But the only thing that fills me with dread is taken out of context. People lying, people purposely, like, I do fun things, you know. I'll do like frivolous radio shows. Now the reason I like doing them is because they haven't really got an angle. You can talk, you do the thing, you plug the. What's scary sometimes is if it's one of those posh, snidey papers, because the journalist can't just say I had a lovely interview and he talked a lot of sense. Anyway, watch his show. They can't, because that's not their job. Their job is to have an angle, sort of, because they're part of the creative world as well. So it's sort of about them, and that scares me because I don't know what they're going to say. I can't change. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like it's their opinion, so I can be honest and try and be funny, but they might not just like you. And if they don't like you, their job is to sort of infuse that into the interview. So that I always think, only because it takes the onus of why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to be in the paper. I'm doing it to tell people that my show's on. So if they suddenly get on something and go off on one, and the headline is about, I remember I did a junket, like an hour's junket about a show, and then one of the journalists said, you've lost a bit of weight. I went, yeah, I lost about 20 pounds, right? That was it. After like 50, that was the headline. Ricky Gervais loses weight. Well, mention the fucking show. I haven't. So you always wonder what they're gonna, you can't say, listen, I'm here to plug a show. Just write about the fucking show, because they need a fucking angle. So that's the only thing that sort of fills me with dread, really. And only written, because I know on a TV show it's harder to get technical content, or a radio show. They don't have to. I told you that one that I did once, and the journalist it was a phone interview, and she pretended she was there. She said she would describe my office, because there had been a photographer there, and describe my body language. And I want to go, you weren't even there. I mean, that's just lying, isn't it? That's just lying. So that, I think. But, who cares? And it was worse in the early days. Do you think it could ruin your career? Now you realise it can't, because more people are watching this than read papers. So, I've got a platform, and it's all good.
It's really come to something when, having spent a lifetime myself fighting against NATO and American wars, it's the Americans that are trying to stop the war, and Piers Morgan, Boris Johnson and Keir Starmer who are trying to keep it going.
I don't want to keep it going.
A lot of Ukrainian,
I don't want to keep it going.
You've got a lot of Ukrainian blood on your hands. You have lied about this war from the beginning.
Actually, Vladimir...
You have lied about the origin of this war, about the duration of this war, about the course of this war, and now, having caused you and your war party the death of 1 million Ukrainians while claiming to love Ukrainians, you're now calling for British lives to be lost.
What a load of absolute bullshit.
That constitutes close to a war crime. You're going to regret it when very soon Zelensky is sitting in a beachfront villa somewhere counting his ill-gotten gains, and all the secrets of the rampant corruption between the Democrats and the Zelensky regime begin to tumble out of the cupboard. This war did not begin 3 years ago. You very well know that it began in 2014. You very well know that it began with a coup against the elected president of Ukraine, backed by Victoria Nuland and the administration at that time, and supported by you. You very well know that the criminalization of the Russian language, which followed hard on the heels of that coup, was the proximate reason for an uprising in the east of the country amongst Russian-speaking, ethnically Russian people. You very well know that Zelensky and his predecessor rained down shot and shell on the people of East Ukraine for 8 years before Putin intervened in 2022, and that 14,000 people, most of them women and children, were killed in that onslaught. You very well know that Zelensky was preparing for a final onslaught, a final solution. And while I'm on that subject, you're always telling us how much you love the Jews. You're supporting a regime which puts up statues to Nazi collaborators, to generals of the Galician division of the SS. You are
Zelensky is
supporting
Jewish,
a
you know that,
regime
right?
that
You know
heroizes.
Zelensky's Jewish, right? Do you?
But that's like saying there's no racism in America because Obama.
So So you're calling the Jewish leader of Ukraine a Nazi? Listen, is that your position?
That's like saying there's no racism in America because Obama was briefly the president of the country. The entire western part of Ukraine played a decisive role in the mass murder of Jews and Poles and others in the Second World War. And now they are heroizing the heroes of the SS. Why doesn't Donald Trump agree with you?
Because he's wrong.
Well, you know, you have been up his ass all of these 2 decades.
Really?
You've kissed his feet.
Really?
You've licked his boots. You've fawned upon him.
Really?
You have been his super fan. And now, on this fundamental question of our age, he's entirely wrong. Everybody watching knows you are Trump's biggest ass.
I like him.
Everybody watching.
I like
knows
Donald
that.
Trump.
I know you like him.
I like
don't
him.
like him.
And on
you
many
like
things,
him.
on many things, I like him. And on many things.
Fundamental question.
Let me finish.
The biggest question in politics in the world today, he's got it completely wrong.
No, it's a little expected.
Ukraine was the most corrupt country.
What, more corrupt than Russia? More corrupt than Russia?
It was designated by the Economist,
what about Putin?
by the FT,
what about Putin?
by everyone who knows
what
about
Putin?
These things. I'll tell you what, your mate, Donald Trump, is going to open every book, every drawer, every filing cabinet, and you're going to be embarrassed.
Comedian Ricky Gervais has weighed into the US presidential election by poking fun at celebrities who claim they know best when it comes to politics.
Hi guys. Ricky G here, wellness and beauty influencer. As a celebrity, I know all about stuff, like science and politics. So trust me when I tell you who you should vote for.
He went on to mock some of those in Hollywood for the over-the-top reactions we've been seeing when they endorse candidates and some of the fear that is getting spread aimed at anyone who may be thinking about voting for the other side.
If you don't vote the right way, that's like a hate crime. It makes me sad and angry, and I'll leave the country. And you don't want that.
I promised myself I wouldn't get emotional, but you know what? You know what? We should be emotional. We should be upset. We should be scared and outraged. We should.
Just like Kamala Harris, I too have been the underdog. I've been underestimated. My success belittled and discredited. I believe in every word that comes out of her mouth. She's passionate, she's compassionate, she shows empathy, and most of all, she is not delusional. Yeah. Kamala recognized that this country is at risk, that the economy needs to get stronger, that the cost of food and the cost of living is too high. Damn, it's even high for me. I believe her when she says, under her, buying eggs and milk won't break the bank.
Look, I'm frustrated about a lot of things in this country. I'm sure you are too. But the other guy, he spent 4 years turning us against each other while embracing dictators and tyrants around the world. That's not who we are. We don't need to make America great again. Come on, we are great. The truth is this: Kamala Harris will protect your right to disagree with her about policies or ideas, and then, as we have done for centuries, we'll debate them.
Something you need to know about this election and about why people lose their nut in America when their side loses. Put simply, this weekend, both sides are being told by their silos on the internet that they are definitely winning the election.
David Brent is not Trumpian per se. Like, he has some qualities that people could see, like read into it and say.
He is like Trump, but the big difference is that Trump's a winner. Right. You know, Trump gets his own way, and David Brent doesn't. Because deep down, David Brent is sort of a nice guy who just wants to be one of the gang. he doesn't have to be the best. He just wants to be in the ballpark. Do you know what I mean? He wants to be on the team.
Yeah.
People often say to me, they say, "Oi, Brent, you know, you're a philosopher. You're a leader of men. You're a great comedic mind. But is there anything you won't joke about?" And I always say, yes, they're handicapped. So I will not laugh at them or with them. It's a very strange example. I mean, it's not an example because there's never been anything quite like it. But Trump has more in common with David Brent than he has JFK. You know, he's a man who wants to be loved, who wants to be famous. You know, he was the host of The Apprentice.
Yeah.
You know, and he's clearly more ruthless than David Brent. And I think that's the difference.
That's a big difference.
It's just harder. It's harder to have sympathy with him, I think. Bit of Steely Dan, Barrytown, off Pretzel Logic. Jane got me some original vinyl of Pretzel Logic for one of my birthday presents, so that's why I'm playing that. And that's what this is about. Not my birthday, because that was... I'm doing this to thank people for my presents. Because the Bollocks gang got together and above and beyond the Call of Duty, I mean, they shouldn't have done it at all, really. Or it's you I'm talking to. I do these things to thank you for stuff, and then you thank me for doing them. So this is sort of, I've got some questions, which I can't get to all the questions anyway, but I'm using this to thank people. So I'm going to get straight to it, right? So I've got loads of different boxes, all from the general Bollocks gang. Anyone just tuning in for the first time, what's the Bollocks gang, right? It's you lot. It's, if you listen to this shit, you are one of the Bollocks gang. Happy birthday, you miserable little... So it's from the usual suspects: Bella, Freya, Gunnar and Andy, Joey, Leopold and Loveday, Leslie, Mark, Ollie Pickle Fan Club, Ollie Afterlife, the old laughing lady, Otis the Parrot, Scarlett, Selena, Susie, Titch, Bestest, Vampire Squirrel, Welsh Felix. I mean, I'm going to be saying those names a lot today, but in that particular hall was a lovely book of languages, a collapsible bucket, because I'm going to end up in a bucket, obviously, and some lovely chill out aromatherapy stuff I think that's to stop me using bubble bath, which is brilliant. I've got some lovely vegan chocolates from melon, toffee and fudge. I would have eaten those immediately, but I was saving them to show you, to thank you. So, I'm going to forget some people. Oh, what's the big card? Hold on. Oh, God. Right. Well, that wasn't the big card. I think. Well, that's Mal Toffee fudge. And the humans, Amy and Michael. What's this? This is from Susie Hope. Look at this lovely thing. Look. This is a thing with all the bollocks going in there. I mean, you can't see it. You can't appreciate how amazing this is. But it's a lovely book with everyone in it. Look at this. I mean, the effort. The Bollocks gang again. I mean, they're all in there basically. You could imagine. Just oh God. From Trey and Fur Angel, Susie Hope. Sent by them, but Oh, this is all from the bollocks now. Look at this. Look what they did here. I mean, this is pretty incredible. Same lot, innit? The same dudes, the same gang. There they all are. Titch and Rubes, Gunnar, Susie, Otis, Olympic, Miss Emma, Gordon, Ralph, Wilf and Leslie, Pax and Welsh Felix. If I've forgotten one of your names, you know I'm including you. But look, anyway, look at this. Look at these amazing things they have done. Nothing's as good if you don't share it. Little quote from Afterlife. And so beautifully done. Oh my God, I'm a very lucky boy. I can't get over it, how thoughtful this is. Should I ask a question as I'm going along to Ollie Comic Strip? If I had to lose one of the following things, the ability to enjoy the fun things in life, the ability to enjoy music, or the ability to enjoy food, including wine. Well, I couldn't not enjoy the fun things in life. That is what life's all about. Then music. I assume I can still eat food and drink wine, and it still does what I just won't enjoy it. I used to be like that anyway. I didn't really enjoy food. Till I was like 18, till I was in my 20s, I thought food was just giving you fuel for going out and having fun. So I'd do that. I'd lose the ability to enjoy food because I could still enjoy everything else in life. I'm putting these away carefully. Sorry, guys. I know this isn't as entertaining as usual, but I have got to thank anyone because I'm just over the moon. I'm blown away. No one else gets this. I always say that George Clooney doesn't get the abuse that I get, but then he doesn't get all the presents either. Right. Oh, and this is lovely as well. Again, I should have organised this, but this from Leopold and Loveday and obviously all the gang, and a couple of things from the guy who the Waltons was based on, and so it's great that you've remembered all the things that I've ever talked about and said. What else is in there? Something from my bunion, a bunion sleeve, some vitamin D, some orthopedic things. So good. Some catnip, some drugs for the cat. I've kept them away from her, but she knows something's going on because she kept sniffing around the box all the time. Look, Charlotte's Web, some shot glasses from Walton's Mountain. I'm sure I've forgotten something, but it's just amazing. So thank you to everyone, the whole Bollocks gang. I hope I've mentioned everyone's name once. And also got some balloons as well from Mel, Toffee and Fudge. So I'll ask some questions so we don't run out of time, shall I? Titch, did we really land on the moon? Why haven't we been back since? Because yes, we did. We landed on the moon. Why would they lie? Why would they fake that, Titch? Well, why don't they just, if they were going to fake it, say we landed on Mars? We landed on the moon. I'm pretty sure of that. Why did we go back? Nothing there. Nothing there. That's my answer. Gunnar, you and David Bowie in Extras is such a momentous moment for TV. Looking back at your career, what accomplishment do you think Do you still not believe you're a part of? Well, that is up there, isn't it? Writing a song with your hero, getting asked to write The Simpsons, getting asked to do the Golden Globes. I think that might be it. I still think that might be it, though. Writing a song with David Bowie. Yeah. Surreal, isn't it? And then a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That's mental. That's mad, isn't it? That's the... Yeah. First one to get that was Dean Martin. They must be running out of people. So we started with Dean Martin. Right, this year's... There's no one left. Well, what about that fat bloke? Yeah, okay. Good one to him. Bella, I've been off my stick game recently, and I failed to find any really good ones worthy of being carried home. We know you like a good stick, so do you have any really good tips for finding really good sticks? Well, I mean, you've got to be on the lookout. And what I'd say is, don't just look at the stick as it is. Look at the potential of the stick. So you might see a stick and go, oh, it's too big. Cut it in half, right? You'll go, oh, it's destroyed this and there's too much bark on it. Take the bark off, okay? So look at the potential. Look within the stick. Like when Michelangelo saw a big lump of rock, he didn't go, that's boring, a big lump of rock. He saw David, didn't he? He thought, oh, I can make that into a man. A tiny little... That was his first thought, I think. He thought, well, look at this big rock. What are you doing? Making a man. Oh, right. What sort of man? Just a handsome man. A tiny little... Right? Okay. Michael, Mr. Michelangelo, have you got a little... No. I'm just this man. So look at the potential of the stick, Bella. Joey, I'm 9, so in human years, I'm not far off 60. Who do you think looks best for their age? So there's a beautiful picture of Joey and a bath pic of me, right? So I know what he's done there. He's tried to suggest that he looks better, but he's not in the bath. So I don't think he'd look his best if he was in the bath. I saw Ollie fall in the bath once, right? When she was a little kitten, I was in the bath, and she got up to have a look and slipped, and it was like a fucking cartoon. She slipped in the water and went like that, and she was out. And then she just was in the corner, like looking at me, and she looked like a little fucking drowned rat. So Joey, I mean, you've got a picture of yourself looking great there, but I don't think you'd look so good if you fell in the bath, is what I'm saying. Dougal, bonjour, monsieur. Bonjour, monsieur Ricky. You'll awaken to discover you have been wrongfully convicted of a crime. On the way to jail, what story would you invent to tell the other inmates to make you look tough and ensure you don't fear dropping the soap in the shower? I just wouldn't shower. I just stink. Make sure no one will come. Like I've got to worry now about people coming near me in prison. I think I'm pretty safe now. Like they all come around and they go, oh, some new place. Have a look. I go, oh, fucking hell. No, you're all right, mate. You're safe. So what would I do? Well, hold on. I'm assuming. But if I was wrongfully convicted of something, they go, hear about Ricky Gervais, he got one. Could I make something up? I'm assuming I'm not. They don't know who I am. Like, you know, I'm not famous. They don't know who I am. I'm just a bloke. What would I do if I was just a bloke? I'd say I was a hitman for the mafia. Because that's a double whammy, isn't it? Not only do I say I'm connected, but I'm like, so I'm scary even within the mob, and they leave me. I just say, yeah, I just got sorry. I was just I was a hit man. I can't think of a scarier thing to say. So yeah, Dougal. Stupid question. Me going to jail for a crime I didn't commit. Scarlett. It must be amazing editing Afterlife 3, bringing the story to life with all the amazing characters, especially Auntie the dog, who plays Brandy. Do you have a favourite part of the editing process? Well, yeah. Auntie is involved in one of them. I've done a lovely little thing, a little special tribute within the thing to Auntie. No spoilers. I think my favourite part of the edit is finally putting the music on and making everything fit in, because it's sort of, it's chicken and egg. So you plan it for a song and then you do it, then you put the song on, then you have to make it fit, and back and forth. You might have to edit the music or edit the thing. So I'd say it's putting the music on. It just elevates it. Tony, I just accidentally hit and hurt my elbow walking around the house, then instantly called the door frame as if it was its fault. Do you do things like that? Also, do you think you'll be an even bigger hypochondriac? I don't think so. I don't think I could get worse. In fact, I think I'm getting better, because even though I'm closer to death, it's fairer. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I was 18 and I went to the doctor, I thought, oh, I'm gonna. I go, this is so unfair. But now I'm going, you know what I mean? I'm not so angry at the cosmos. So, yeah. Do I bump? No, if I bump into someone, or the first thing I think of is, whose fault is that? I'd love to blame someone. So I'd love someone. It's usually me. Like, who left that fucking cupboard? It was me. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you trip on the pavement, whose fucking fault is that? Council. It's never mine. So no, I don't blame the inanimate object. But if it's someone's fault, it instantly annoys me. Even the weather. I think, who can I blame about the fucking weather? Is there anyone who told me not to bring out an umbrella? Oh dear. Daniel, I know you're getting old now. Brilliant. What do you think you'll do next after Supernature Tour is finished? More stand-up, TV or film? Definitely more stand-up. I can't wait to finish this one, because it, with a pandemic and getting that. And Netflix already bought the next one. I can't wait to do that, because every time I think I can be even braver and, So definitely stand-up. In fact, someone asked me, I don't think we'd get to it, but someone asked me if I had to give one thing up, or if I could only do one thing out of writing, directing, acting and stand-up, what would it be? It would be stand-up, because it's all of them. So definitely, I want to do another stand-up. I think I want to do stand-up. It's the standing up bit that's the problem now. I've even thought that maybe my next stand-up tour I could sit down. I don't think people would care. I'm not Lee Evans. I don't jump around. I don't do backflips or dance or sing a song. So I could just come out, say thanks very much, and sit down in a nice armchair. I mean, Dave Allen used to sit down. Yeah, he was a stool and he was upright. But I might fall asleep, particularly if I'm drinking. Because when I drink and I'm standing up, you sort of, you're sweating it out and stuff. If I was sitting in a chair, I think I'd drink more. And then, like, fucking granddad from Only Foot. What if it was a commode? So I can't. Please welcome to the stage, Ricky Gervais. I come up maybe in a mobility thing. I come out like that, and that just maybe just stay on that. Or it just sort of tips me into an armchair, and that armchair is also a commode. So I could be sort of telling jokes and having a little wee or something and a drink. So I wouldn't have to worry about, because sometimes on stage I think, oh, I better not drink too much because I've got to jump in the car and I might need a wee. Whereas if I was doing stand-up and drinking and weeing, I mean, that is the best worlds for me. You got to have an ambition, haven't you? So definitely more stand-up. Definitely more. I want to do another series. I love TV. I thought I had to drop one of that. The least likely is more film, because films are what they used to be, and you put all your you film for like 8 weeks and it's just an hour and a half. Whereas TV, you can. It's different. But out of all those, definitely more stand-up. Probably more TV. Louise, hi Ricky. I'd like to ask you about the Supernature tour. There was some very controversial topics discussed in the warm-ups. Will everything make it into the proper shows, and can Netflix choose or remove sections, or do they have to show the whole thing? Well, I hope they make it. The reason they wouldn't make it is because they're not good enough, or it's too long. Like, Humanity was 86 minutes long live, and I had to cut it down to between 60 and 70, and they let me have it at 76. So it was already longer than specials are meant to be, and I cut 10 minutes. So I don't think Netflix would ever make me cut anything unless I was breaking some sort of broadcast law, which I don't. I don't think they do it because they're scared of controversy or getting cancelled. And sometimes I lose stuff because I've already done a joke about that thing, or it's too long. There's some routines that are fun, but I haven't worked out how long they are versus how funny the punchline is. So do you know what I mean? So you just want the best, tightest, most laughs. Also, I want a bit of a narrative. I don't just want a string of the funniest bits, because I want people to go away with, oh, that whole hour felt like something. Do you know what I mean? You want it to be more than the sum of its parts. So all those things determine how long it is, what goes and what stays. But Netflix have never told me, they've never said you've got to take that joke out because it's too dangerous or whatever. That's never happened. But I'll take that if it's not. It's just if it doesn't feel right. Bird on a mission. I hope you had a fantastic birthday. My question is, are we born with empathy, or do we learn it from our parents, peers? And why do some people have none? Could it be an abnormality in the brain? But I think it is, because I think there's some fetal development. Like if the mother's like an alcoholic or a drug addict, it can affect the development of the kid's brain, and they can be born without sort of empathy. So it's definitely neurological as well. Having said that, everything being equal, and we're all born the same, you certainly learn kindness as well, or the opposite. So I think it's a bit of both. But I'll ask Sam Harris that on my next phone call. Bird on a mission. Oh no, that was Bird on a mission. This is Leopold and Loveday. Why does the way we perceive time change as we age, and the way we experience the passage of time? Is it the same for animals? No, I don't think animals think I've only got a couple of years left like we do. Well, I suppose time is relative. Time is relative, isn't it? If you're doing something you hate, pain that lasts for a couple of seconds feels like fucking hell ages, and doing something you enjoy is over in no time at all, isn't it? I suppose also, like now, well, we're everyone, but wherever you are in life, each day is a higher percentage of the rest of your life that you've got left, isn't it? Soon, one day, that day is going to be 100% of what I've got left, and working backwards. And we don't know what that is. We don't know what percentage we've got left. So, we better enjoy it and be kind to each other, like you lot are to me. What a very lucky boy I am. Well, I hope I've mentioned everyone at least once. I think I've shown the majority of all the gifts. I've answered most of the questions from the gang. Thanks again. It was, I think, the best birthday ever. Don't do it again, though. That was from a 60th. Don't spend your money on me anymore. You can spend it on things like this, for example, where all the proceeds of this book, and it's brilliant, go to All Dogs Matter. And this book, I think, is brilliant. It's the questions that Bella asked me, and I answered over the time here. There's little pickle. Ollie's in there, and look, there's me and Bella collecting sticks. I'm going to be horrified if I've forgotten someone, but you know I'm thinking of you, whoever you are. If your name wasn't called out on any of these things, you know, I have seen your name, and I really appreciate it. So, especially whoever called me a miserable. Thanks, gang. What a joy. So, yeah, thanks for following. Buy question time. Buy a little Ricky bag from All Dogs Matter. Be nice to animals. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye. Yes, the Dutch Barn. Dutch Barn. I co-own that company. And yeah, all the adverts I've been doing, they can never get on telly. Well, I'm going to do some for telly maybe, just take out some of the swearing. It's made in Yorkshire from apples. It's we got our own orchard and everything. I'm a farmer, officially. I told you, didn't I? So if there's a war, I couldn't fight. Like, they'd fucking have me anyway. We need that fat old bloke. Why? He's got 4 hands. 4. See?
These people are in power, and they're in power on a tiny sliver of the electorate. Keir Starmer got 34% of all those that voted in the British general election. But he only got 19% of all the people who could have voted in that election. And so a guy with 19% of the British public's support got 63% of the seats in the British Parliament. And now he's busy ennobling his friends, cronies and donors, putting them in the House of Lords, making them members of Parliament for life. So I agree with you.
We should fight for accountability. We should demand it. But the ultimate accountability is when they stand up for election. That's why I am clear about the elections in May. Anybody but Labour. Vote for anybody but Labour. Labour must be destroyed.
Try Dutch Barn. Yes, it might make me $1 billion, but when I die, that'll go to worthy causes, won't it? That's why I haven't had kids. Even though my kids don't exist, I hate the little to have all my money. Right, that'll do.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work.
You're not registered. Got your identity card? Let me see your identity card.
Yes, of course.
I want to see your identity card!
Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them.
Orwellian. Terrible. Oh, you've got me fucking started now.
One of our viewers got in touch and wanted us to ask this question. Ross Brown wanted us to ask you if you really believe that those profiting from human trafficking will think, oh dear, I have to check your digital ID now. I can't carry on paying you £1.50 an hour to work in my sweatshop.
I'm absolutely convinced that amongst the reasons that people travel through France, which is a safe country, to come to the United Kingdom, amongst the reasons is because it's easier to work in our illegal economy than it is in other countries. And we have to deal with that.
Bosses who are prepared to hire people illegally are not asking them for their national insurance card. So what's the evidence? What makes you think they're suddenly going to ask them for a digital ID?
We need to be really clear. You must have ID, mandatory digital ID, in order to work, because we have to stop illegal working. If you look at any of the raids, we've massively increased the number of raids on working premises. It is absolutely clear that people are working illegally in numbers.
But why do you think that them having a digital ID, having to have a digital ID, would stop that problem when right now people are meant to have a national insurance number and card, and if they're not asked for that, a boss is willing already to break the rules? What's the difference going to be?
Well, the difference is this is on point of starting, not a retrospective exercise as it now is. It is an automatic collection of the information by the government, so we know exactly who is working in our economy, and it will help us enforce the rules that are there. But there's no point people saying to me, why do we need it, when we all acknowledge there is a problem. People are working illegally in our economy. It is amongst the reasons that people want to come to the United Kingdom. We have to deal with that. I made a pledge that we would do whatever was necessary, use whatever tools were available to deal with illegal migration. I intend to do so.
I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Certainly in the UK now, we're at a crossroads. We have got a right-wing proposition that we've not had in this country before. We've gone on for decades with elections which are basically either a Labour government or a Conservative government, pitched usually pretty much on the centrepiece of politics, the centre ground of politics. So, but now we face a very different proposition with Reform and Nigel Farage. It's that march that we had here 2 weeks ago in London, in Whitehall, that sent shivers through the spines of many of our communities well away from London, not just those in the immediate vicinity. So there's a battle for the soul of this country now as to what sort of country do we want to be, because that toxic divide, that decline with Reform, it's built on a sense of grievance politics, identifying something real for sure, but relying on the problem existing in order for their politics to persist.
It's great as well, because it's all about looking at the evidence. In fact, it's so fucking apt for today. So it's about a jury in a. I won't give it away, but it's a big court case, and there's a jury. Everyone's wanting to see what they want to see for their own benefit, just like today. People not looking at the evidence, just looking at what's good for me. People covering up evidence if it ruins their narrative. People fucking denying science these days because it doesn't fit into their narrative. Terrible, just terrible. People creating a new dogma with its own fatwa, bullying people because they think differently. Orwellian, terrible. Oh, you've got me fucking started now. Oh God, and he's a hero. Because he's the least popular person in the fucking room. And he doesn't care. Because he's principled. Oh my God, it's so fucking good. Oh, it's so good. It's so apt for now. It is so apt for now. What's happening in the world. People not looking at the argument, just looking at who's saying it. People getting annoyed. Evident, the truth being inconvenient. Fucking brilliant. It's fucking brilliant.
Your body cams will be transmitting that. The police will be on their best behavior because we're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on.
When you come to government and what government's doing, there are artificial intelligence tools, and some of them I know that Oracle have developed around financial management for government, but also tell us a bit about because you're right at the forefront of this revolution, what it means for what government should do in terms of its digital infrastructure, digital ID, data centers, and so on.
How do you take advantage of these incredible AI models? And the first thing a country needs to do is to unify all of their data so it can be consumed and used by the AI model. You have to take all of your healthcare data, your diagnostic data, your electronic health records, your genomic data. And in the Middle East, in the UAE, for example, they're incredibly rich in data. They have a lot of population data. The NHS in the UK has an incredible amount of population data, but it's fragmented. It's not easily accessible by these AI models. We have to take all of this data we have in our country and move it into a single, if you will, unified data platform. So we provide context. When we want to ask a question, we've provided that AI model with all the data they need to understand our country. So that's the big step. That's kind of the missing link. We need to unify all of the national data, put it into a database where it's easily consumable by the AI model, and then ask whatever question you like.
So you're really, through the use of this, you're revolutionizing the way government works, right? The services it provides, the way that it operates. What about things like financial management, procurement? How can AI help a government operate more efficiently, more effectively, give a more direct and better service to the citizen?
Well, we have these modern financial systems. So, countries can, and for example, the AI system will help you do that. But again, the secret is to get all of that data in one place. Without having the basic data, it cannot answer the question about your country. I think countries are very uncomfortable with keeping their data in other countries' data centers. So I think part of our essential infrastructure, just like airports obviously need to be in our country, or they're not terribly useful. Ports need to be in our country, and they're not terribly useful. Data centers, because of the privacy requirements around the data, need to be in our countries, or they're not terribly useful. They need to be in our countries, but they also need to be secure. And there are new technologies right now. This is the last year you will ever log on to an Oracle system with a password. By the middle of this year, Well, how do I mean, I'm quite certain you are Tony Blair. And so how do I know? Well, I look at you, I hear your voice, I listen to the kind of questions you ask. I'm pretty sure you're not, you're not synthetically created in having this conversation. The security system, we have biometric logins. The computer recognizes you. It recognizes your voice. It might ask you to put your index finger on the return key. And we're absolutely certain it's you. There's no reason to enter a password. In fact, passwords are too easily stolen. Data centers and data is being taken hostage all over the world. The ransomware business is a very, very good business. It's getting bigger and better every year. We tend not to talk about it because the American FBI has a simple advice to someone whose data has been ransomed. Just pay them because there's nothing we can do about it. But there is something we can do about it, not after the data is stolen, but before the data is stolen. We can make sure that we're using the latest security technology, and it is going to be biometrics assisted by AI to make sure that you are in fact Tony Blair, and I'm sure you are. Now, I would love to live to be 150 years old.
Well, there's an amazing opportunity to reimagine the state, the way that government functions, and the service that it can provide for its citizens.